Hi, this is Brendan from Watto Training, and in this tutorial we're going to take a look at the Brighton to Sandgate traffic signs, signals and road markings. About Brighton. Brighton is a coastal northern suburb in the city of Brisbane, Queensland. It's located 22.6 kilometres by road north of Brisbane CBD. Brighton has a popular bayside esplanade. This parkland esplanade follows the coast between the Houghton Highway / Tedsmelt Bridge and Sandgate. The esplanade is used by walkers, cyclists and families. Brighton's beach is used by kite surfers and also walkers during low tide. The road that follows the esplanade is called Flinders Parade. So as you probably picked up, it's a very popular spot and we need to take a closer look at walkers, cyclists and families. Lots of fish and chip shops, lots of activity down there. So if you're driving through that area, there's a lot to negotiate. Some traffic situations to consider include Flinders Parade is popular with bicycle riders. Riders must ride as close as possible to the left side or on the road shoulder on Flinders Parade single lane road. So you can see in our diagram on the right there, we've got a broken line dividing a road going north and south, and on the left there we have a bicycle lane. There's some cars parked on either side of the road and a no parking yellow line on the left. Ride to the left of any oncoming vehicle. Not overtake another vehicle on the left if that vehicle is indicating or turning left. Not overtake another vehicle on the left if it is not safe. Not ride with more than two riders side by side unless riders are overtaking another rider. Ride no more than 1.5 meters apart if traveling beside another rider. What is a bicycle lane on a road? A bicycle lane is a marked lane with either a bicycle lane sign or a road marking of a bicycle symbol and the word lane painted in white. The road may be painted green. You can choose whether or not to ride in a bicycle lane where one is provided. You must not ride in a bicycle lane on the wrong side of the road, travelling towards the oncoming traffic. Riders can ride on the road shoulder or either side of a continuous white edge line on a bicycle. However, riders must give way to vehicles on the road when moving back into the lane from the road shoulder. Let's take a look now at some road positioning for drivers. The performance expectation for drivers is the vehicle should be in the correct road position appropriate to the road or traffic situation. In this situation here, we've got a bicycle rider on the side of the road. So the driver in car A needs to carefully negotiate that situation, and depending on the speed zone, needs to keep an appropriate distance. Down on Flinders Parade, it would be a minimum of 1 metre from the rider to the vehicle. There's a broken line there, so the driver could, if safe to do so, go around that bicycle rider with overtaking techniques. In this traffic situation, we've got two bicycle riders ahead and a bicycle lane. So technically that's legally acceptable by the bike riders. So a driver in car A must again obey the same rules. This one here, we've got a parked car on the left side of the road, car B. And again, car A must pick an appropriate line to drive through. If there's space to get through there without crossing the broken line, no dramas. But they've just got to keep in mind that the driver from vehicle B may throw the door open, so leave sufficient space for that as well. In this situation, we've got two parked cars, parked car B and parked car C. Car A is moving through, and coming in the opposite direction is a truck approaching which has crossed the broken line. So in that case, the driver in vehicle A would have to slow down because the semi-trailer has already committed their pathway through there. Common road positioning errors. The driver fails to stay within the confines of a lane, excluding situations where the applicant is unable to comply, for example, roadworks. Vehicle drives unnecessarily on the incorrect side of the road. The driver takes up a road position that is inappropriate for the prevailing environmental and traffic conditions, that is, failing to read the road ahead and make necessary adjustments to the course taken, including lane changes, for example, crossing edge line inappropriately and or moving in and out of parked cars. There's also a number of roundabouts down on Flinders Parade. So let's take a look at the way that roundabouts should be negotiated. Now, I should just hasten to add, on Flinders Parade, they're single lane roundabouts, but once you get up into Sandgate and Deegan area, you do get some double lane roundabouts. So the technique is, Step 1. If we're turning right or taking a U-turn, plan your path. Number 2, check your mirrors. 3, position your vehicle in the right lane unless arrows on the road or signs indicate otherwise. 4, use your right indicator when you enter the roundabout. 5, give way to all vehicles already on the roundabout. 6, before exiting, use your left indicator and follow the exit lane marking. And step 7, stop indicating as soon as you have left the roundabout. Note, do not turn right from the left lane unless arrows on the road indicate otherwise. The next one we're going to have a look at is going straight ahead. Step 1, plan your path. Step 2, mirror checks. Step 3, position your vehicle in either lane unless the arrows on the road or signs indicate otherwise. Step 4, do not use your indicator until ready to exit. Step 5, give way to all vehicles already on the roundabout. Step 6, before exiting, use your left indicator and follow the exit lane marking. Step 7, stop indicating once you have exited the roundabout. Turning left, position your vehicle in the left lane unless arrows on the road or signs indicate otherwise. Use your left indicator when you enter the roundabout. 3, give way to all vehicles already on the roundabout. 4, remain in the left lane as you complete your turn. 5, continue to use your left indicator as you exit the roundabout. And 6, stop indicating once you have exited the roundabout. Okay, so here's an example of a single lane roundabout along Flinders Parade. Note that you've got a green painted bicycle lane on the left. There's a give way roundabout sign up on top left, and a keep left sign in the traffic island dividing the left and right sides of the road. This is a multi-lane roundabout, just like the ones we just went through. If the lanes approaching the roundabout are marked with arrows, make sure you follow their direction. Heavy vehicles that have a do not overtake turning vehicle sign are allowed to take up more than one lane to turn at corners, intersections, and roundabouts. This is the roundabout on Brighton Road, and this situation's been come back up off the waterfront. Common driving errors on left turns. The driver approaches the turn in a position that is not as close as practicable to the far left side of the road. Now, we note that would apply for car drivers, but if you're in a heavy vehicle, if you get too close to that left margin there, you would clip it. So you would, again, going back to the do not overtake turning vehicle sign, apply that rule. After commencing the turn, the driver does not position the vehicle as near as practicable to the left boundary of the road. For example, swings wide to finish the turn unnecessarily close to the center of a two-way road. Okay, this one, here we are now looking at traffic calming. So you get a good look. If you don't know the area, you can see the ocean is on the left and an example of a popular fish and chip shop on the right of the picture there. So what is traffic calming? Traffic calming is used to combat speeding and other unsafe behaviours of drivers in the neighbourhoods. Traffic calming uses physical designs and other measures to improve safety for motorists, pedestrians and cyclists. Here we've got a speed hump, which is an example. This is a rounded traffic calming device used to reduce vehicle speed and thus sound volume on residential streets. Speed humps are placed across the road to slow traffic and are often installed in a series of several humps to prevent cars from speeding before and after the hump. There's another one. As you'll see, there's a lot along there. So one thing that a driver must do along Flinders Parade is drive to the conditions. A driver should progress with the general flow of traffic at a speed that is not excessive for the situation and without exceeding the speed limit. So take it nice and steady. Acceleration should be smooth, progressive, and appropriate for the traffic conditions. Common errors when it comes to driving to conditions. The driver fails to adjust speed appropriately in response to a non-regulatory advisory speed sign in a non-hazardous situation. The driver accelerates too rapidly or too slowly for the prevailing traffic and environmental conditions. There's another speed hump up ahead in the 40 zone, high activity area. You can see on the left lots of people having picnics and things like that in the park. And we've also got another type of traffic calming device, and that's called a chicane. And I have a picture of one of those on the right. There's quite a lot of those along the parade as well. Chicanes are a type of horizontal deflection used in traffic calming schemes to reduce the speed of traffic. Drivers are expected to reduce speed to negotiate the lateral displacement in the vehicle path. Here we have a pedestrian crossing and a white vehicle reversing out into the traffic. Give way to pedestrians on or entering pedestrian crossings. Again, we have a pedestrian crossing here with a person walking across. Give way to pedestrians on or entering children's pedestrian or marked foot crossings. And the white car is waiting for that driver. The white car driver is waiting for that gentleman to get across. Refuge Island. A refuge island is a place where pedestrians can stop before finishing crossing a road. Speed zone. There's a 50 sign on the left side of the road on this slide. So drivers must scan a plan up ahead and actively be looking for the changes in speed zones along the area. You've already seen from earlier slides that there's a 40 zone as well. Yep, there it is, 40 zone, more 40 zones. And just a little note on speed limits. The two default speed limits in Queensland roads are 50 kilometres per hour for built-up residential areas and 100 kilometres per hour for roads in rural areas. These speed limits are usually not signposted and still require drivers to adjust their speeds depending on the conditions when and where necessary. When speed limits other than the default limits apply, signs are installed to inform drivers of the speed limit. Okay, just as a note, other common speed limits. Where default speed limits are not appropriate, other speed limits may be applied. For example, 10 km per hour in shared zones, 30 to 40 km/h in recreational and entertainment areas, hospital zones, CBDs. So that's why we can see the 40 zones in this area, and 60 km/h or above in high traffic volume areas. You don't get any of those on the Flinders Parade area. Okay, and here we have another speed zone, which is a 40 school zone on school days, 7 a.m. and 2 till 4 p.m. This slide focuses on the white painted line on the left side of the road. Motorists are not permitted to park on the road where these yellow lines are located. Sharing the road with pedestrians. The yellow arrow up the top centre of screen shows someone crossing the road. When driving or riding in Queensland, you must give way to pedestrians on or entering children's, pedestrian or marked foot crossings. Give way to pedestrians on or entering a road you're turning into. Give way to pedestrians in a shared zone or slip lane. Travel at a speed allowing you to stop safely at a crossing if needed. Prepare to stop if you see another vehicle or bicycle stop or slow down near a crossing. Now let's move on to some tips for safe management of driving on the Flinders Parade area. Observation scanning techniques. Drivers should scan, observe and monitor the driving environment in every direction as appropriate to the driving task. Common observation scanning errors include the driver fails to scan and observe all the road space ahead, to the sides and behind the vehicle. The driver scans late, rushes scanning and or does not scan in the correct direction for potential hazards. Shoulder checks. Drivers must conduct shoulder checks prior to moving off from the side of the road, lane changes as well as prior to conducting manoeuvres to identify and manage hazards safely. So we can see on the left of screen, if any of those drivers that are parked on the side of the road wish to pull out from their position, they need to conduct a shoulder check first. We normally use the MIMS formula: mirror, indicator, mirror and shoulder. You're required to give 5 seconds notice on the indicator before leaving the side of the curb. Mirror checks. The driver should use the rear vision mirrors on the approach to any hazard or potential hazard. So we've got a driver backing out of angle parking on the left, so the driver would just have a quick look in their mirror for what's happening behind and then take appropriate action if that white vehicle keeps coming. Okay, common mirror check errors. The driver does not check the rear vision mirrors before slowing or stopping the vehicle, turning, changing lanes, diverging and merging, confronting any traffic hazard. Judgement. Drivers should make a correct decision and respond appropriately with regard to judgment of the speed and distance of any traffic or pedestrians. Common judgment error, driving error, is the driver gives way unnecessarily to another road user. That is incorrect application of the give way rule. So if for example, a learner driver was coming up to this situation, it's completely clear, then they would move through without being required to stop. But some drivers drive up to that broken line there, the give way line, and just stop even though there's nobody coming. So we're looking to aim to move with the flow of the traffic. Safety margins. Drivers should ensure there is an appropriate buffer zone in front of and to the sides of the vehicle and that it is in the correct position when stopped in a line of traffic. Safety margins, common errors. The driver drives too close to parked vehicles, cyclists, pedestrians or oncoming traffic when travelling at normal road speeds without compromising safety. So we've got cars parked on the side of the road there and you need to leave sufficient distance to be safe from them. The driver stops in a line of traffic with insufficient space between their vehicle and the vehicle in front. Safety margins. A common error, the driver reduces the following distance from the vehicle in front to less than 2 seconds. In Queensland, the minimum following distance for cars is 2 seconds, 4 seconds in the wet. However, in some other states and territories, the minimum following distance is 3. Drivers should signal in the correct direction long enough to give sufficient warning to other drivers and pedestrians when intending to turn, diverge, move into the edge of the road or curb, enter a line of traffic, at a T intersection where the continuing road curves to the left or right, leaving the continuing road to proceed straight ahead onto the terminating road. Let's take a look at the right turn into Rainbow Street. Here we have painted arrows on the road. The left lane goes left, straight or right, and the right lane goes right only. Signalling, common errors. The driver fails to signal their intention with sufficient warning to turn or diverge left or right, or when otherwise legally required to do so. The driver fails to signal left before exiting from a roundabout when legally required to do so. The driver activates the signal in the wrong direction. Okay, this is a left turn into Flinders Parade. Common signalling errors. The driver fails to cancel the signal within 5 seconds after the turn or divergence has been completed. The driver cancels the signal prematurely, that is before the turn or divergence is commenced or completed and without subsequent reapplication. The driver signals unnecessarily where confusion to other road users may occur. Let's look at some other traffic examples from Brighton through to the Deegan roundabout near the racecourse. Keep your eyes on the move. We can see we've got a chicane here with a bike lane on the left. Another chicane. So again, scanning up ahead, planning, coming in nice and steady. Another chicane as well. This one shows a safe crossing area, a refuge area in the middle. And this one is Flinders Avenue right into Cliff Street. Warning, the warning sign on the left, drive in the right direction. These yellow signs appear in sets, up around the curve there, of the road ahead. You'll see 2 or 3 of these signs in a row, drive to the right direction of these signs. And in the middle of the road there, we can see a single continuous center line. You can cross a single continuous center line to enter or leave a road, including entering or leaving a property and to safely pass bicycle riders. You cannot cross a single continuous center line to overtake or do a U-turn. Just note that we will look at the bicycle rules in other sections as to how to manage those, but that's the basic rule there. Especially on a corner, you wouldn't be doing anything crazy there. This is a left into 2nd Avenue, and here we're looking at the give way sign. Give way means to slow down, and if necessary stop in order to prevent a crash from happening. You must always give way at a give way sign and check it's safe to continue. Give way signs are placed at intersections and other places where other vehicles have priority. This is exiting the roundabout from Rainbow Street into Sutherland Street. And notice as we come out, you've got a Refuge Island up ahead and a pedestrian crossing, and it goes to a 60 zone. That takes you up towards the lagoons. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan from Watto Training.